The central examination of the Royal Dutch Friesian Studbook was held today in Ermelo. We began the inspection process with multiple stallions. 7 stallions remained for the in-harness test, 5 of which were approved today. These are 5 fine stallions with good bloodlines and lots of potential for the sport, which makes them an asset to Friesian breeding. We'll begin with Fonger 478, an Alkert son whose dam sire is Duca. Fonger is a stallion who was noted in the inspection particularly for his outstanding walk. In the riding test, he also showed a good canter. Although he may have slightly less talent as a show driving horse, he demonstrates aptitude as a driving horse. The stallion is well bred. He comes out of the good line 44, making Fonger 478 a nice addition to the collection of breeding stallions. Next we have Gerben 479, a Deutz son whose dam sire is Sapa. This stallion is out of a line with abundant preferent blood. In the riding test, the stallion scored 78 points, but needed to show slightly more scope, particularly in the trot. However, he compensated nicely for his shortcoming in the in-harness test, where he demonstrated more scope in the trot. This stallion also has talent as a show driving horse. Gerben 479 is a stallion with modern presence and correct conformation, which is why we also approved him. Hessel 480 is a Norbert son whose dam sire is Jelka. This stallion had performed well in the riding test, but needed to prove himself in the driving test, which is what we did today. He also excelled in the show driving test. Because he's a large stallion, he often has difficulty demonstrating sufficient power. Perhaps he came to the inspection a year too early. All in all, Hessel 480 still convinced the jury that he can be an asset to Friesian breeding. Hetta 481 is a stallion by Norbert and his dam sire is Reindert. Hetta performed well during the entire inspection process. He's a true all-round stallion. He was good in the riding test, good in the driving test and fantastic in the show driving test. In this respect, he's a very nice asset as a breeding stallion. Last but not least is Heike 482, the Iron son whose dam sire is Luther. He developed very well throughout the entire inspection process, from the first inspection in Ermelo to the central examination. Heike is always in a good mood and very willing to work. In addition, his inbreeding percentage of 16.7 makes this stallion very interesting. Heike can be an asset as a breeding stallion, which is why he too was registered in the studbook. All in all, this was a very successful inspection, and we're very happy with the stallions we've added to our collection. We hope you enjoyed our first KFPS video journal. Next week, the first inspection begins in Drachten. Please stay tuned at english.kfps.nl.